Okay, so I'm working on the Pink Panther in my own garage. I don't normally do this. I'm normally working on it at the track, but I just got back from picking up. I got a set of rain tires. Now they're used, but these are the fronts, obviously. And these are the rears. So yes, they are slightly used, but they were so cheap that I couldn't turn them down. And I also got a set of the used Hoosiers that I will be running at Nationals, so I can now practice on those without scuffing up my brand new ones. I'll save those ones for Nationals. Now, many of you know that I have had a problem with the rear brakes locking up. This was a fairly new issue, like when I had built the car before with like version 1.0 and 2.0. It didn't do that. It was finally balanced then, but I had different brakes on the car at that time. I had 4 piston calipers on the front and 4 piston calipers on the back, and it worked pretty good. But now, ever since I went to the 2 piston calipers in the front, and then I had the 4 piston calipers in the back, it was always locking up the rears. So that's what happened at Spring Nationals. So when I got back home, I put in 2 piston calipers in the back that match the front ones, so they match exactly. And it was better, but it was still doing it. So I called Willwood and I gave them all the specs and all the stuff that I have, and they recommended that I go with a smaller master cylinder for the front. And as it was explained to me, that a smaller piston in the master cylinder increases the pressure. So currently I have a 7/8 master cylinder for the front and a 7/8 for the rear. I'm going to be going with a 3/4 for the front. So I'll put that in there, and that should solve my brake balance issues. It'll be really nice to have front brakes working properly. So this is my garage. I don't think many of you would have seen it before. It's a decent garage, but this is my Ayrton Senna bike. It's a 1979 CB750, and I modified it all. This part here, it used to have a tandem seat. Obviously, it has the primary seat and then a second seat for the passenger. And this part used to be way back here. I've took all that out and I moved that up and made a solo seat for it. That's the stock tank. It's been modified. It's been smoothed. I got the Powered by Honda and the Marlboro on there and all that stuff. And the forks went from the stock bars, that is clip-on bars now, and I lowered the bike quite a bit, front and back. It's lowered quite a bit, and cut off anything that was unnecessary. And I don't have an airbox anymore. I got those Keehan CR29s on there, and you can see I got the tires. They say Goodyear Eagle on them, but that's not actually what they are. Anyways, so that's my bike, and this is my Hot Wheels Bug that my wife and I built. She did the bodywork, and I did all the mechanical stuff. It's got a body lift on it, and it's got a stock 1600 with a dual carbs and a Stinger exhaust. And it is a lovely little play toy. It's not very fast. It only makes 74 horsepower. It's pretty slow, but it's huge fun, and it puts a smile on everybody's face. And you can't drive it anywhere without people giving you a thumbs up or taking your picture. It just happens like crazy. So yeah, so that's that. And then my shifter cart. So since 2012, because I didn't have that car to drive, I've been racing this to keep my driving skills sharp. So this is my Rotax DD2 shifter cart. Definitely kept my driving skills sharp with that. However, in autocrossing, you have to learn how to read a track, and I've lost all the skills in how to read a track, because in karting, you run the same track, you run 1,000 laps on the same track, so there's, reading it is not a skill you develop. So anyways, I'm going to be replacing that master cylinder, and well, we'll see how it's going to work after that. Well, for the first time, I put strings on the car to check alignment. So, Yeah, so what I did was I went online, I did some Googling on how to do it, and there are some people that had attachments that bolt onto the car and stuff, but it looks like you can just do it like I did here. I got jack stands. They are set to approximately the height of the hub, yeah, hub there, and the hub in the back, and the distance between the strings on this side and that side are exactly the same front to back. So after a lot of cross measuring to make sure that everything was exactly square, I measured off the hubs, like I'd measure from the hub out to the string all the way around, and I made sure that the distances were exactly the same both sides. And from there, I was able to check toe settings. It was a little toed out more than what I wanted, so that was good. The big thing was, it turned out that my wheelbase was different on the one side and the other side, so that is now the same. I imagine that will help the handling of the car, having the wheelbase exactly the same on both sides. I have the master cylinder. The new master cylinder is in there and bled. The pedal is not as stiff as it used to be, and that was expected because there's less fluid being pushed to the calipers with each push of the pedal. So I expected it to have to be pushed down farther to clamp the caliper or clamp the discs. So that was expected. But yeah, I think, well, it's now 11:30, so I think I am done for the day. So anyways, everything's looking really good. I have an event this weekend, and I'm hoping for good things. So we'll see how it goes.